Romper, nice.
I only made the left side.
I know. Having said that, I know who the fuck.
I'm gonna get one of those. Wear that around.
I
That'd be
like
cool.
the lace shorts.
God, yeah,
Well,
I saw
extra
those.
holes.
Yeah.
Lace shorts.
A lot of
I feel like
ventilation.
that. What do you
Extra
mean lace
breezy.
short?
Like,
Yeah.
so, like lace dresses
Yeah.
in short.
You mean an actual
Yeah.
lace short? That sounds weird when a man says,
we're live.
"Oh, we're live."
Whoops. Oh, here we go.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Everyone acts like we weren't talking about lace shorts.
Yeah, and male rompers.
Wait, I want to just say that thing. If the sound doesn't work and we shut off the podcast to fix it, please don't text me. That doesn't help. We got a lot of texts.
The audience is very involved
love
in the
you.
podcast.
Yeah.
That's a good sign. Yeah, that's a good thing.
We don't have as big, I guess, a viewership as say like Joe Rogan, but we certainly have great engagement.
Wonderful people.
Yeah, and I really encourage it. Okay, so we're here, season 1, episode 6, Freddy Beach
Nice.
podcast. You're welcome for doing this. Today, actually, we have great news. What was the great news again?
We have a sponsor.
We have a sponsor.
We have a
Sponsor.
We get approached by a sponsor.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. People are coming to us now. It's pretty powerful. All right, so who we have with us today is Dave Brown. He is the sponsor. However,
That's right.
we were going to do an episode with him a few episodes ago. We had extremely bad technical difficulties.
Yeah. Every time I'm here, it
Yeah.
seems like there's technical difficulties.
So even though I encourage it, he didn't bribe us to be on the show, which is what it might seem like.
Does seem
Yeah.
like-
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's-
It could look like that, and then sort of Wayne's
Sponsorship.
World
Yeah.
fashion.
It's official sponsorship, so it's not.
Tell us
bribe.
about it.
Tell us
Yeah,
about this,
yeah.
And then I'll introduce him to you.
Okay.
The main
yeah.
man.
Great. Well, yeah. So To-Do is proud to be the first sponsor and the sponsor for episode 6. To-Do, which you can find at todoyou.com. That's TUDOYOU.com. It's meal replacements, and it's made here in Fredericton. I'm working on it with a couple of my friends, Mustafa Shaker and Mark Gauvin, and these are them here. So each meal or each bag is a full meal, 500 calories, and it's extremely healthy. It's made of wholesome natural ingredients like rice protein, flax, things like that.
Cool.
So each bag is 500 calories, 25 grams of protein, 20 grams of healthy fats, and it's basically
So this is summer.
this could be your supper. Yeah, 500 calories. So depending on who you are, if you want 2,000 calories a day, you need 4 of these a day.
Yeah.
And you can buy them online through our website, todoyou.com. And we're just super jazzed and
brought
pumped
lots
to sponsor this. Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I do know some of the answers to these questions I'm going to ask because I used to do. But I'm
Right,
going to ask
yeah.
them anyway.
Sure. Yeah.
Flesh it out, if
Yeah.
you will.
Absolutely.
What if somebody has like a tub of, I don't know, elephant protein powder or whatever?
Hmm.
What's the
a good question.
what's the difference between taking a shake of that or taking a shake of this?
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
should the busy executive just get a tub of elephant protein powder, or should they go to Judo and
Well,
have more?
yeah, I guess it depends what they're looking for. If they just want protein, then yeah, just get a protein powder. But To-Do is really focused on being like a wholesome meal. So it's got all the amount of protein, fat, carbs, vitamin and minerals, basically everything you would need to, like you could live off this and be extremely healthy.
Okay.
So
but that other protein powder would be more
just protein.
for
Yeah, just for like muscle or something like that.
Well,
Yeah.
it wouldn't
so-
have all the other things.
yeah, this has
It's
everything.
a good point for folks
Yeah.
to know. Am I right?
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, a lot of people would think that. And there's other products out there like Vega or other meal replacement products, but this is wholesome natural ingredients, conveniently packaged. One bag is one meal, so you just add it to water, shake it up, and you've got your meal ready to go. So yeah, that's the big difference.
And I use it. Dave's gotten me hooked on it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm the type of guy who I like to get up really early. I like to eat first thing, and then I don't eat until I get home at about 11 at night. So, I used to just not eat lunch, and people who've known me before the podcast know that the result of that was losing a lot of weight.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Not in like the time that maybe you would want to lose.
Right. Yeah. yeah.
And now I'm using Tudo, and people have been commenting.
Nice.
It looks like you're on the come around.
Yeah.
So
Excellent. Yeah.
I appreciate
First
that.
testimonial. There we go. Great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What's a real
yeah.
story? It's a real story.
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
appreciate that.
Awesome. Yeah.
Okay,
Great.
so Dave Brown, thank you to know Dave, entrepreneur since it must be in your blood, because unlike me, who you've been an entrepreneur ever since you could really, and
Yeah.
you,
I guess. Yeah.
Chinova was his first company, and I'm gonna butcher it a little bit. Phil's gonna bring it on track, but what Chinova did is
Was his second company.
second company.
Yeah, there's too many. Sorry, it's confusing.
Did I
Yeah.
say it was the first company?
So let's
I
do
meant
like-
to say it was the last.
So let's do like the real cold note introduction.
Yeah.
Because I did a long introduction the other day and I watched it and it was awful.
Did it sound?
So Dave Brown just won the Governor's General Award for Innovation.
That's right.
That's
yeah.
pretty good.
Thank you very much.
Give him a round of applause here at home.
Yeah, thank you.
But so Dave Brown, co-founder of MicroDev,
That's right.
co-founder of Chinova,
Yep.
working on To-Do.
Yeah.
What
Tudo's
are
the
those
latest.
things?
Yeah. So yeah, it's complicated because there's so many. 5 years ago, when you started Hotspot, we started MicroDev Group, which is a biotechnology company. We're making this one ingredient called chitosan. It comes from fungus, and then it's used in medical device pharmaceuticals, that kind of thing. About a year ago, we spun off Chinova Bioworks, which is using chitosan as a natural preservative. So for food, beverage, cosmetics, anything that needs a preservative and that would traditionally use like a synthetic chemical preservative, which a lot of people have problems with. There's health problems and that kind of thing in the public perception. So we're making a natural preservative that's good for those applications.
Can you tell me something that would need to be preserved?
Well, basically any beverage you buy, like from a vending machine, like beverages are the biggest one. You can think of like anything that has a lot of water and a lot of sugar.
Yeah.
It suffers from like microbial contamination and spoilage. So anything with a shelf life. So baked goods, breads,
Oh, really?
things like that, cereals. Preservatives are in basically all the packed foods you buy. Cosmetics, it's another big thing, and personal care items, shampoos, hand creams, almost everything has
So
some
how
kind of
did you
preservative.
personally get involved, see the opportunity in, or get passionate about chitosan?
Yeah.
Talk to me.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
chitosan,
saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the next question. People
Yeah.
want to know.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy. It's a long story. I graduated from university, and
Where
I
did
had
you go to university?
University of Alberta out in Edmonton.
There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
God's country.
great
Good
school.
man.
Yeah, go Bears.
Yeah.
And Golden Bears. Yeah. And then I was so I graduated, and
Yeah.
I had a job lined up at a company in the U.S. in California, a big biotech company, and they were looking at they were involved with a lot of genetic engineering, and there was some chitosan involved in that work. So I started to study up on chitosan and become aware of it. And then right before I was about to move down to California, the company went kind of bankrupt. They split it up. Part of it went under, and then my job was gone. So I had just
That was a
graduated,
problem.
no job. Yeah. So and then it was about Christmas time, so I came home here to Fredericton.
Yeah.
And had no job, but knew a lot about chitosan and the industry, and thought that if I could produce it from fungus, that would solve a lot of the problems that the industry had.
Yeah.
And
What were
would
the
hopefully
problems?
the problems with the chitosan industry. Most chitosan today comes from shellfish, like crab shells, shrimp shells, lobster shells. And for pharmaceutical companies that want to use chitosan, because it's a very valuable ingredient, it does a lot of really cool things that pharmaceutical companies are interested in, but they could never use it because it was coming from shellfish. So there's shellfish allergen proteins, which could kill 5% of your patients. And then there's the whole problem with like heavy metals. There's arsenic, mercury, things like that from shellfish. So producing it from fungus would be a really pure and consistent way to do it. And then so that's what MicroDev was kind of founded on, and now they're selling to pharmaceutical companies who need this ingredient. Yeah.
But how did you know that you could get it from fungus? Or that was just like maybe fungus has it too? Or
Yeah, no, that was there'd been a lot of studies. That was kind of commonly known that fungus has it. It was just that the whole technology of growing fungus in submerged fermentation in a way that you could kind of auto-extract out the chitosan in a really green process and do it really consistently with high purity, that was kind of what was new, and that's what MicroDev did. So that was the cool new thing.
So Dave has a really cool entrepreneurship story that I want to draw out of him.
Okay.
Just lined
I think I
up.
know. Yeah.
So tell me about how you started getting the chitosan in Grand Falls and how you had to go about doing that.
Yeah. So I had this idea for MicroDev Group. I had almost no money, just coming out of university. university. And of course, like, I need a lab. I mean, that's the difference, I guess, for biotech companies compared to like tech companies or IT companies, that you really need some kind of lab. And labs are expensive. You need equipment, you need reagents, chemicals, all this stuff, and it's very expensive. So I looked around Fredericton. There was nothing available. The only place I could find was this lab at CCNB in Grand Falls. They have like a biotech sector
Grand
there.
Falls as well.
Yeah. They have a lab in Grand Falls. Yeah, CCNB does. Yeah.
I would have lost that bet 9 times.
Yeah. Actually, they have a great facility there. They have a center. It's a biorefinery technology scale-up center. They have like amazing people up there. They're doing all kinds of work on actually a lot of brewing, like beer brewing, spirits, vodka, stuff like that. And mostly like natural product focused. So I was able to get a bit of funding to get a lab there. I didn't really even get a lab. I just got some bench space at their lab. But that was like all of the money that I had, so I had to find a way to live in Grand Falls, which isn't super expensive, but I had no money.
Added cost.
So I brought my tent up and I just lived in a campground for the whole summer, basically.
That is awesome. First off, I've also lived in a tent all summer.
Oh, okay, through the military, it's awful.
But good for you. Not a lot of people would come up with that. Maybe like, well, I don't have enough money, so it can't be done.
Right, but just give up.
Found a way.
Yeah, there was no other way. It was either like I'm going to camp there or I'm going to drive back and forth from Fredericton, which is going to cost more probably in the long run.
It's not gonna work out.
So I just lived in a campground and had cold showers every morning, and
it's good discipline right there.
Respect. The Governor General loved that story. I told that to him when I was in Ottawa for the ceremony, and he thought that was hilarious.
Can you tell us about the award then? So what'd you win?
So
fast forward a little.
5 years
from
later.
tenting.
From living in a tent to the Governor General. The ceremony was a couple of weeks ago in Ottawa, and this is only the second year they've had this award ceremony. The Governor General, David Johnson, wanted to find ways of encouraging innovation in Canada. So as part of that, he set up these awards last year, and then this is the second year. So I was nominated by Futurepreneur, which you might know. It's a nonprofit that works on supporting youth entrepreneurship in Canada, across Canada, and they've got a presence here in New Brunswick. They were one of my first supporters, I guess. They gave me a loan and business mentoring.
David Eisner?
David Heitzer, exactly. So Futurepreneur nominated me. I guess I got selected, and I won an award with 5 other Canadians from across Canada, and that was pretty cool. It's a nice little ceremony.
Was it regional, or was it just based off innovation?
I don't think they care. I think they might try and spread it out across Canada, but actually there was no one from out west, so probably not. It was just about accomplishment. Thanks. Thanks very much.
Absolutely well done.
Thanks.
And did you have to give a speech?
I did.
What did you say in the speech? Was it an English speech?
I
or
did.
Just rhyme it off for me if you have it at text.
I have it memorized.
Whatever's easiest for you.
I had to burn it into my brain.
I'm sure you did.
And then I kind of blacked out during the whole thing, so I don't know what I said. I thanked my parents because they.
Good start.
Had to thank the parents. They've been there. Donna and Daryl Brown. Shout out to Donna and Daryl Brown. I know they're watching. And Futurepreneur for nominating me and for being there the whole time. I guess thanked. What did I say? I thanked my colleagues, MyCadev Group and Canova Bioworks, and that was pretty much it. Innovation in Canada is obviously super important. It's the driver of our economy and our society. I'm talking about like social innovation. So innovation is just incredibly important, and it's going to become more and more important in the future for Canada as the whole economy shakes up here in the next 50 years. And that was basically it.
So we got lucky with you. Like, you were about to go to Silicon Valley, and then it fell apart. and now you're here.
yeah. Then it
He
fell
says
apart.
it like, yeah.
That I didn't get the job. Yeah. I don't know.
So how do we keep someone like you here then?
Oh man.
Because we can't
That's
have
such a-
everyone won't tank.
I'm sure the governor general
Yeah.
asked you that question as well.
Yeah, that idea
He's saying,
came up.
he's like, yeah, but he didn't. did
No, yeah.
But he should have.
yeah, there was an event the next day. The Public Policy Forum of Canada had an event the next day about innovation in Canada.
Sure.
And yeah, that's a big thing, not just in Fredericton or New Brunswick, but across Canada is like talent going to the U.S. And I don't know if I'm in that talent pool. But there's
So
smart
humble, eh?
people. Yeah.
he's in that
Well,
talent pool.
they're thinking more
Humility,
like
so, yeah.
PhD level people. I don't have a PhD or anything like that, but yeah, it's a really good question, and I guess it's really complicated. Maybe things now with the current situation in the United States, maybe that will just kind of encourage more Canadians to stay here and stop the brain drain to Silicon Valley and that thing, but. One of the things I talked about with them at the Public Policy Forum was how access to capital, like venture capital, just funding, is so difficult in Canada compared to the United States. I should put that little asterisk there because I know there's a lot of people.
Difficult needs to be compared to something.
Yeah, compared to the United States, whether it's fair to compare Canada to the U.S. or not. But
Let's talk about that for a second. So we have money here in Canada that
yeah.
everyone knows about. There's programs.
we're pretty rich in Canada. Yeah.
So how do you feel about, because we do have a lot of grants. Like the U.S. has no grants.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that, especially from a bio world where we need these huge cash injections to start up?
Right. Yeah.
How do you feel about the two?
It's amazing because when I go to the U.S. and talk to other entrepreneurs in the biotech industry, they always talk about how they've just spent 5 years trying to get a grant from NSF, the National Sciences Foundation, and in the U.S. it's impossible. It depends where you are in the U.S., but mostly on the federal level in the U.S. there's not a lot of grant money out there. It's so competitive, so most likely unless you're finding a way to cure cancer, you're probably not going to get a sizable grant. Whereas here in Canada, we've got great institutions, government institutions that support early innovation, especially for the biotech sector, National Research Council, NSERC. Here in New Brunswick, MBIF is a big supporter of early innovation. So yeah, from that end of it, Canada's doing great because all those programs, the IRAP program with NRC, NSERC Engage, those things, we're doing great.
What's the bottleneck?
Yeah, I actually
I
also
think-
don't understand.
Yeah, well, I can only speak for
And I believe
biotech.
you.
I'm fishing.
Yeah.
I think you do. I get that you do, but I'm just saying
Yeah.
I generally have no idea. I'm
Yeah.
like, well, we get grants and they don't. Then
Yeah,
why
then
is
you
it
think
better
it'd be
to
great.
be there, not here?
Right. I think then it comes after, after those grants, then what do you do in Canada? And it's you need to raise some serious VC.
Yeah.
And then you look around in Canada and you look for serious, sophisticated venture capital. I'm speaking for biotech because I think in
That's what you
ICT,
know, too.
ICT I think is different. I think it's a bit more developed in Canada. And I think
I
there
would
are.
say that there's definitely more money, but there's definitely
yeah.
more competition.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, interesting.
Same idea.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
just how many players are playing.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Canada, I think, is more known maybe in the VC world for ICT and stuff like that. So biotech, you're pretty much forced to go to the U.S. because there aren't serious, sophisticated VCs here in Canada for biotech.
We have
There might be
scale
some.
issue, I think, is what really.
Yeah.
I don't think
yeah.
that we have a early stage issue. I think that we have
You're right.
how do we export?
Yeah. We've got tons of early stage companies. Even here in New Brunswick, there's tons of startups, which is great. You need those. But
And you do get the outliers. You get the people that we see locally here that are exporting in a big way.
yeah.
But they're outliers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not the norm.
Yeah. Scaling up. I've heard that a lot. That scaling up these companies is the issue in Canada and New Brunswick specifically too. And then biotech is special because biotech is extremely capital intensive. A lab, the equipment, all of that stuff costs millions of dollars. And then for most biotech companies, your return on investment isn't the same as a hotspot or things like that, or these tech companies where you expect a return on your investment in like a matter of years or 5 years at the latest. Like most of these biotech companies will only get to some kind of revenue 10 years after founding. So they need to raise serious capital to be able to survive that 10 years. And then you need people who are interested in participating in that, because that scares off most of the local investors here.
I have to admit, I think I'd be scared off, to be
Yeah,
perfectly
yeah,
honest.
yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Well, they're
Like,
lifetime companies, is the way I think about it.
Yeah.
Like you're starting a company that's going to exist well beyond you.
yeah, the investors need to have deep pockets and a lot of patience, but the payoff is potentially huge with a lot of biotech.
Why is that?
I think, well, especially if it's a pharmaceutical kind of oriented biotech company. I mean, you discover a valuable drug, you could be into billions and billions of dollars of revenue and
Right,
stuff like that.
okay.
So
All right, I get
if it takes off, it's a blockbuster kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
It takes a long time to rev that in.
yeah. I mean, no drug company is able to flip out a new drug in like 1 or 2 years. Like
Yeah.
the studies alone.
The approval process.
Yeah, exactly. All the regulatory stuff. So.
I think it's good to have that, though. Like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
wouldn't want it.
No,
People
yeah.
buy my new drugs.
Yeah, that we haven't tested. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, the regulatory is good. It's just convincing investors to see the potential, I guess, 10 years down the road. And
So what type of investors do you chase then? Because they're very different than who I probably would.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is, I guess it wraps back into the whole Canada versus the US thing. Like most of the US has a huge biotech, pharmaceutical, medical device sector, especially even around Silicon Valley. There's a lot. Boston area. So they have VCs there that know this industry inside out, and they're used to this kind of timeline, like 10 years or something like that, and they realize that like these companies need tens of millions of dollars just to get started because it's so capital intensive. So
they're having those conversations early.
yeah, it's just, and then people here not as used to that. You know, if you ask them like, I'm a seed stage company or an early stage company, but I need $5 million, they're gonna laugh at you and say like, that's ridiculous, you'll never get that. But you know, there are companies, seed stage companies in the US doing that. They're getting $5-10 million. So yeah, it's just I think, and
I think we just need people like you to be successful, and then
yeah,
the investors here.
right, yeah.
I'm sure it started somewhere there too.
That's true. Yeah, that is a good point, because you look at Ocean Nutrition, a company that was in Bedford, Nova Scotia. They got bought out by DSM, a big Dutch biotech company.
Okay.
I can't remember the size of the deal, but it was huge.
Yeah.
So everyone involved became millionaires, basically, all the Ocean Nutrition owners. And then, so it's people like John Risley, Robert Orr, a couple other guys. And now they're out there doing biotech investments.
The beginnings.
Yeah. So that was really cool. So yeah, you get one good, like, kind of huge success story, and then those people, similar to like Radiant 6 for tech, like all those guys are now out there contributing and investing, and so that was the same deal with Ocean Nutrition being bought by DSM. So we just need more like that. I
think the big thing too that people downplay is the path, understanding how to get to that, and like what, because there's milestones whenever you build a company. They're like, okay, we need to do this, we need to do that. If we haven't done this, that's bad. I feel like if you don't have smart people invest in your company that know that path, you'll flounder. You'll jump around.
Exactly. If you get some investors who don't understand that path, or very short-term focused,
which is something that I feel like investors don't understand, is there's certain people that you don't want to take their money.
That's
than it's worth.
That's a lesson for startups. You gotta.
Have you ever done that? Volunteer travel like that?
Yes.
I don't mean to be I haven't, but it's an interesting subject, right? But I haven't taken any money because nobody's offered to give me any money. There is that, right?
That is a problem. I think founders need to be wary of getting the right investor.
The worse position you're in with your company, the more likely you're willing to do that.
If you're desperate and you need some kind of money, you'll do deals that seem great at the time, but will bite you in the butt later. Yeah. So yeah, I think overall there's just a problem with venture capital and angel investing here, not just in New Brunswick, across Canada. Because
that's good. Because we don't hear enough about that.
Yeah. No, it's not a New Brunswick problem. Because actually, at the Governor General's award thing, a couple of the other winners had their own companies, and they said similar things, like being in Quebec. One of the winners, she's from Quebec, from Montreal. She had raised all of her money basically well, not all of it, but the bulk of it, the vast majority, in the United States. And we were talking about that, how you ask for $500,000 here in Canada and people will laugh at you, and then you go to the US and they'll say, what, $500,000? That's nothing. Yeah, come back to me when you're talking like $5 million or something like that. So.
It's the same way if somebody came to me and said, I need $50,000 to start my company, I'd laugh at them.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, bye.
Yeah. So I don't know, but biotech and tech, like ICT stuff like that, I think is very different in Canada.
We're scrappier. You know that.
Scrappier? What? No way.
Scrappy?
Did you say scrappier?
Scrappier. What do you think I said?
He just said that you're scrappier than biotech.
Yeah, you're saying it. Whoa.
Oh yeah, us? Oh,
what?
Totally, man.
How?
ICT?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Everyone like.
Yeah. This.
Do it. Yeah. Justify your claim.
Yeah. How are you scrappier than biotech startups?
I don't want to use any personal examples.
Change the name.
But there's definitely some things that I've seen people do that were just like wild.
Give us something.
Like here in New Brunswick, maybe? Or yeah.
Like I'll do an easy one.
Give us something.
Yeah.
Like whenever I started Hotspot, I got my student loan and then used it to pay James.
Yeah.
Intent. I mean, that was pretty scrappy. I mean,
that's pretty good.
That actually sounds scrappier.
Yeah.
I would like to say that I didn't mean to say that ICT was scrappier than biotech. I meant that New Brunswick in Canada was scrappier than the US.
Yeah. Well,
it came across the other way.
Yeah. I'll give Phil one thing though, because most biotech companies come out of some kind of university research, so there's usually like a PhD student involved or something like that. And I think, not to stereotype, but those companies have a hard time, because if it's coming out of an academic setting where it's
quality of life issue. Like those people are used to making a certain salary.
Oh yeah. When you're PhD.
Well, that sounds scrappier. I'm giving the ICT guys the scrappiness on that side of the house.
Yeah.
I don't see Phil going around. I'm completely objective, so don't thank me. Okay. I don't see Phil going around being like, "Hey, I need this, I need that."
I'm gonna run to the washroom.
Do your thing.
Okay.
Do your thing.
But I think a lot of biotech research comes out of university. And then, academic life is very different from startup life, and maybe they're not the leanest or the fastest out there. So there is that.
You were pretty lean and fast for an academic, though.
Oh yeah. Well, I had to be. Yeah. But some of them are maybe.
All right, let me ask you a non-business question. Have you ever seen the movie The Room?
No.
You need to see this movie, okay?
Yeah.
Emily and I, we just watched it 3-4 nights ago. A friend was like, you need to see this movie. And the viewing audience needs to see this movie, okay? Have you seen it?
What was it?
The Room? Okay. Alex, I know Alex hasn't seen it.
Type style?
No, it's Cody in the back there is asking if it's like horror. It's not like horror. It's the worst movie ever made. It's called the Citizen Kane of bad movies, okay? And this is a real thing. Someone told me about it, and I watched it, and it is in fact the worst movie ever made. But it's not like, like a bad horror movie where like the blood's bad and the acting's bad, so it's like
cheesy.
Technically bad.
Yeah.
It's like psychologically bad as well. if that's even a term, where it's like it's so bad because like it was so meant to be such a serious drama, but the acting is incredibly terrible. And actually, Emily and I were listening to it because I'm a big fan of audiobooks, and we just did like I was saying, we drove back from Toronto back home to Fredericton here, right? Because we had some meetings. So obviously we crush in audiobooks during the drive, right?
That's great.
And we're listening to this book about the making of that terrible movie.
Oh.
Yeah, and I've never even read a book on the making of a good movie. Okay, but there's this book, and it's like the guy who's like the co-star, but not the guy who's like because it's a movie where like the one guy's the director, the producer, the lead actor,
okay. Yeah.
and then like all this other, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
These are like four
Yeah,
things, right?
doing
Like
everything.
so the guy who's like the lead actor who like thought it was gonna, but wasn't that guy, but like thought it was gonna go like straight to video and not be a big deal. Because I guess what happened is they spent $6 million on it, and it made $1,800. That's how much it grossed.
Oh.
Yeah, because
What movie is this?
it's called The Room. Anyways, but
Seen it.
you need to see it. You need to see it. But
That's-
this guy's book of the making of it is the funniest book I've ever listened to. It's
Okay.
absolutely incredible. If you're at home, it's called The Disaster Artist. You should check it out.
That's cool.
Just a quick segue.
That's like
I do
the
have a question.
Yeah.
I want to ask about this.
to-do.
To-do,
Yeah.
company you're running, kind of went into it,
Yeah.
but you're also working at Genova.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
do you do that? How
Yeah.
do you decide which one takes priority? How do you juggle that?
Oh.
How do you deal with the other people that you work with that have to deal with that?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Kainova is definitely like the full-time job.
So
It's
you just set that expectation?
Yeah, oh yeah. To-do is more like a at-home evening, weekend kind of thing whenever there's time. Yeah, and actually, well, I shouldn't say we're all like that at to-do, because Mark and Mustafa are pretty much full-time on it now. Mark is basically, yeah. But yeah, Kainova is kind of the big priority for me, and that's the serious thing. To-do is kind of just on the weekends whenever we can fit it in. Yeah.
How did you have that conversation, like with Genova?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not busy enough. I need to.
Yeah, I'm not busy enough. Yeah, exactly. I had started it before Kainova existed,
Okay.
so that was kind of easy because it was just like, yeah, it's already there, and it doesn't take up too much time. Like after we got this product finished, got like the formulation done, all the testing, that kind of stuff. From now on, it's really just production, and we're still working on like new product lines, kind of derivatives of this, but yeah, now it's mostly just focused on production and sales and stuff.
Who would buy this sort of thing? Besides our viewers.
Yeah, well, your viewers are probably kind of like our demographic. Yeah, it tends to be younger, like 20 to 40 kind of people, busy professionals, people involved in the startup scene for sure, or entrepreneurial scene. Yeah, because we're you may have heard of Soylent,
Yep.
which is kind of what this product is based off of.
What's the problem with Soylent? Why are you guys copying Soylent?
Yeah. So yeah, we kind of copied the idea of Soylent, but went the complete opposite direction, because Soylent is very focused on pricing, like trying to be as low priced as possible, and the ingredients that they use to achieve that are kind of lower quality ingredients. That's not to like poo-poo Soylent, but that's who they are. And I think they're actually proud of that, and that's how they make their business. So they're focused on making the most affordable meal replacement out there. Not to say that their ingredients are bad, but they're not the highest quality and that kind of thing. So we went the reverse direction. We focused on totally natural, clean label ingredients that everybody like would recognize: sunflower oil, flaxseed, brown rice protein, healthy ingredients. And we're not actually that much more expensive than Soylent. On a meal per meal basis here in Canada, we're actually very close to the price of Soylent, but with a healthier ingredient list, and I think better macronutrient ratios, like the protein, fat, and carbs. It's a bit healthier.
So what got you interested in to-do?
It was just that originally it was me and Mustafa, and we were just talking about, startup life and how busy we each were, and Soylent was becoming extremely popular. This was a couple of years ago, and so like we had both tried Soylent and weren't totally, like, we liked it, weren't totally thrilled by it, and then the idea, like, let's just take that, kind of reverse engineer it to be totally like natural, wholesome ingredients, healthy kind of stuff. Try and keep the pricing competitive with Soylent. Obviously it's a bit more expensive because of the ingredients, but it's not
For me,
totally
like,
off
it's my
base.
body.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
such a hypocrite because I'll go eat something terrible, but it's my body too, right? Like if I actually want to eat well,
Right.
I'm going to spend the money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Soylent, their users are busy, like a lot of people in Silicon Valley, I think, tech workers who are very busy, don't want to stop working for lunch or stuff like that. So yeah, it's kind of the same demographic for us, but people who are willing to pay just slightly more and have wholesome natural ingredients.
I'm going to ask one more question.
I'll ask one more question, and then do you want to ask one more, then wrap it up, or
I just felt like I was on a...
No,
where I wanted to go with my question was, why are people so like two things. First off, you got this super busy tech worker group that basically your demographic that you're talking about, and then you got the other guys, which is you, which are like the people that are startup, building companies, super busy people.
Yeah.
What do you think of that? Is that a common trend across generations? Or is that something we're seeing more today with people starting their own thing? And that's just a big question.
Yeah, that's a big question.
A lot of time, man.
Yeah, I think younger, this generation, millennials or whatever you want to call it, is in a very tough situation, and
tough how?
like getting a job or just having a normal way of life, normal as it has been for like my father and his father and that kind of thing. It's going to completely change. Like the economy of Canada is going to completely change. It's going to have to. It's going to go from a resource-based economy to a high-tech economy with automation, robotics, AI, all this stuff that's going on. Like the whole economy is going to be shifted. So I think our generation, or the millennial generation, or whatever, is going to have to find ways of kind of making themselves useful, like starting their own company if they have good ideas, or working at startups, things like that. So there's a lot there seems to be a lot more startups now than there ever was, and I think that'll continue probably.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
I think it's just I feel now that, so in the past, maybe Tudu wouldn't have been feasible. Maybe it was too hard to get the ingredients, the packaging, sell it.
right.
Maybe the margin wasn't there.
Yeah.
But with the internet and software being
That's
what
a
it
good
is
point.
to build,
Yeah.
I feel like it's getting easier and easier to have side gigs.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
easy to do, make money.
absolutely. Like we use Shopify, and that's amazing. Like I can't imagine all the extra work we would have to do if we didn't have Shopify. Yeah. We can take credit card payments. We can do subscriptions.
Shipping, figuring that out.
Yeah. It's amazing. So yeah, Shopify and all this kind of like all these industries that have formed around just basically helping startups. Yeah, that's been great.
You want to know something? We were at a Shopify conference last week, and it was very valuable.
Yeah.
So you should consider going to one.
Yeah.
Like lots of like easy wins. They're like, oh, I wish I'd have known that, or a lot around shipping and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And I was talking to this one guy about kind of ours. This is more specific to shirts and stuff, and how we're creating a 3D shirt rendering designer and all that. And then he was talking, he's like, and he was like, so where's your guys' place? Or we're like, oh, we're from Fredericton, right? Because this was in Toronto. So he was like, oh, you guys are in Fredericton? Like, it's crazy. And I was like, yeah, you guys like coming to Fredericton? And he was like, no. Definitely not. I was like, oh, like, why is that? Because they're like on like a bit of a tour, right? Where they're like in Toronto for a week, and it's like a week-long conference, and all of, like everywhere, right? And like, we made a strategic decision to not go to the Maritimes because we wouldn't get enough. And I was like, well, you should consider it, because actually there's a lot of startups in the Maritimes. Fredericton won the Startup Canada Award, so even though it is less of a population, because of economic factors and a bunch of other factors and stuff, we actually have a lot of startups and a lot of people. I know tons of people who use Shopify, right?
Yeah.
And then I said, and I was like, and I guarantee you, if you come and you have a conference like this, I guarantee you I will get the mayor there. That is not really something I can guarantee. But I felt like the ink wasn't going to go on the contract unless I really gave him a reason to lean on his pen. So
cool.
Mayor Mike's
That's
probably
great.
watching you right now, and
Mike.
you're going to have to gonna have to honor that commitment. Otherwise, they're gonna make us all look like liars.
Hope you
So
don't mind.
Or
yeah.
just present Phil as the mayor of Fredericton.
100%.
This is- yeah.
Look at that blazer,
Phil Curley.
am I right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
this blazer, you are mayor.
Very presidential.
Tag that says Mike.
Yeah, yeah.
Very
That's
presidential.
right.
So that's
Yeah.
where Fredericton sits with Shopify. Just
Ouch.
last thing,
Wow.
then we are going to wrap it up. Dave,
Nice.
give the people word of advice, wisdom, thought. One last thing before we close it down.
Something profound.
From the fact that you are the innovator of the year.
Yeah, and just don't let it down.
Right. Oh my God, I gotta
Make
come
sure
up with
it's
something
they'll remember 10 years
really-
from now and really
Yeah.
get in and breathe it out.
Really, yeah, geez, something. Well, I don't have. I'm not that
Not
smart.
that much
I can't think
pressure.
of it. Yeah.
Take the
Yeah.
challenge. Just do
Yeah.
it. Say something. Give us something.
So everyone, not everyone, a lot of people are talking about not being so comfortable all the time, and that's, I think, Canada's biggest problem. New Brunswickers so comfortable with our lives. It's very Canada's a very comfy place, which is great. You know, great quality of life here in Canada. Not a lot of problems, social problems, things like that. I mean, there are some, but so this doesn't lend yourself towards being innovative. If you're comfortable, you have no reason to be innovative. Just keep doing what you're doing. So people need to get out there. They need to get uncomfortable. They need to do things that, you know, make them uncomfortable, that they would never do, or just, yeah, take a jump. Because I think that's the biggest. You look at places like Israel, and why Israel is such a good startup nation. It's because they're uncomfortable. Like, look at this, look at the situation that they're in. Like, they have to innovate, or bad things happen.
Probably
Yeah,
in Canada,
yeah.
1 out of 33 million would be willing to sleep in a tent all summer to make their dreams happen. In Israel, probably like 1 in 10,000.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly.
Too, I think. Like,
Oh, yeah.
we need to be competitive.
Yeah, it's not that we're lazy, but because we're so comfortable, we might not take those jumps that people living in less comfortable situations will take. So, and that's happening. Yeah, Israel, there's countries all around the world that people are way more innovative than Canadians. I don't know if it's that they're more innovative, it's just that they actually take action.
We should
Where-
say it's like less risk adverse.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're very risk averse here in Canada. Yeah, we have a liberal government, but we're pretty conservative overall in just our daily lives. Yeah.
No.
So
Let's end on that thought.